Alright, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube, we're here today with a video here near Mobile, Alabama. This is an abandoned racetrack no one even knows about. It's actually surrounding a lake. This track hosted a NASCAR champion at one point back in 1951, and thankfully some of it is still around, and we're going to show you in this video. So right over here, a lot of the track, this was actually the back straightaway of the racetrack back in the day. And as you can see, woods have kind of taken it over for the most part, but it's still decently preserved for a track that actually, this track opened in 1947 and actually closed in 1953. The two NASCAR races that were held here back in 1951. We actually found some old newspaper clippings that I'm going to throw up here in the video. And you can actually see where they held local Gulf Coast races along with NASCAR races back in the day. Like I said, the championship race in 1951 for NASCAR, now the NASCAR Cup Series, back then was the NASCAR Grand National Series, was held here. So that was the championship race for that year. Tim Flock, I believe, won one of the races here. But what this track was mainly well known for was for the lake over there, which you can't really see from this angle. I'm going to actually get a better angle of the lake in a little bit. But this track was known for drivers ending up in the lake, and basically that's kind of what led to some of the track's demise. But also a big chunk of it too is NASCAR kind of outgrowing these local short tracks even back in the 50s, way long time before NASCAR reached its peak in popularity. But it just goes to show you that this track was small and only lasted for a very small time as well. I believe the track, like I said, was only open for about 6 years before it closed down and has been abandoned ever since. So but you can just see all these cool things, and we're going to have a lot more to show you here in just a few minutes. So actually right here at this spot, we actually found some of the original grandstands, it appears, from the race that was here. It looks like they were moved at some point, probably by the church that actually owns this property over here. Because if you turn around right here, there's actually a cross. So yeah, I mean, it appears that some of the Christian schools done some work over here. But these stands appear to be original to the time period of early 50s of when they would have had the races out here. So both these stands were probably used for the time, and they were probably moved up. So that's an interesting find. So right up over here, there's like some wood areas over here, and we actually found some tires that appear to be off of an actual stock car from back in the day. As you see here, we've got several of them. There's a bunch of them back here. I don't know if you guys can see. It's really hard to see. It looks like some of them were removed. And here's something here we found. Not sure what that is.
Looks like an old piece of rebar with a bolt welded to it.
Huh.
You see bolt welded right to it right there. Structural beam. Yep. Steel beam.
Well, there's a lot of stuff. Appears to be what might have been from back in the day when maybe some crews or something threw some stuff back here, maybe spare parts that they didn't need to take, maybe. And we're thinking that's how some of the tires might have ended up over here. But either way, this is another neat find. It just shows you that a good chunk of this racetrack was preserved pretty nicely. So actually right here where we're standing is actually a decently preserved part of the racetrack. As you see, it's probably the most preserved there is, besides 1 and 2 over there. But actually this track went through several names. It was originally known as Mobile Speedway, then it went to New Mobile Speedway, and then it went to Lakeview Speedway. So this track went through about 3 different names during its lifespan, and some of the locals know about it, but it doesn't get the history really that it deserves, I think. So that's kind of what we're doing with this video, talking more about it and showing more of the track off, because this track's actually decently preserved and there's not a lot of tracks from this time period that has a lot of it left. Most of your tracks from this time period are completely woods, but this one actually has some of it left. And actually, and another thing too to note, it was actually, before I forget to mention it, this track online is listed as dirt oval. But actually, if you look, it's got concrete here. So at one point, this track was paved. And it's apparently gone unnoted on online by most of your historian figures that do know a little bit about the racetrack. So that happened to this racetrack at some point. Not sure when this happened, but it happened. Actually, though, I do suspect it might have been even originally paved back in the day. Because actually, as he was showing on some aerial photos earlier and some of the ones that I've looked at, this track appeared to always be paved, even dating back to the 50s. So I don't know if it was always paved, it just never got noted, or if it was paved right before it closed. Who knows? But we do know in this 1952 aerial shot that we found, it appeared to be paved as well. So it may have been a dirt track when NASCAR was here, but it was probably paved around 51, 52 if it was paved back then.
Mid-life span.
Yep, private mid-life span, right before it closed. So, yeah, so it is paved, contrary to popular
corner
belief.
that all the cars?
Yeah, this probably was right around the corner where all the cars would probably go off in the lake. So we're right around over there. And we're going to get you a good shot of that lake here in just a second. Alright, so over here is the lake that I was talking about. Right here, if you see right here, here is part of the track. So a lot of guys, when they had the races here, would slide off and get into this lake over here. This is known as Cochran Lake. And basically the track was built around the lake. Yes, the lake existed back when the track did. And like I said, this track is well known for that. It's one of the few things this track's so well known for. And yeah, like I said, it's interesting because this might be one of the only few racetracks that was actually built around a lake. They actually had a lake dead in the center without walls like Daytona. This is something very interesting. So, and this lake actually has some pretty good size fish in it. A lot of people fish out here today. So, like I said, there's some of the asphalt there left. And this is the lake. I was shocked too because in the Google aerial shots that we looked at before coming here, it looked like the track was a little bit closer to the lake, and it's pretty close. I mean, but it looked like it was closer in the shots. It's a little bit farther away than I originally thought based off the Google shots, so that's interesting. But yeah, that's the shot of the lake right there. Well, that was the end of it. It was fun seeing the racetrack. We even got 2 tires here in my back of my truck bed that we took. These appear to be old NASCAR tires, so we took them, and we're going to actually restore them. And they are Firestone white wall tires, so they, like I said, appear to be actual tires off of a stock car or NASCAR of some kind, so it's a little souvenir from the racetrack. And that's pretty much it, YouTube. So comment, subscribe, like this video. More content's going to come. Not all of it, not all of my content's going to be about this kind of stuff. So we're going to have more exciting content soon. Hopefully this video is okay. I know it's probably bad for the first one, but hopefully it was alright. So comment, like, subscribe, and get ready for more content coming out very soon.